today, it's a smaller crew. Most people are still teaching at this point, but really we wanted to bring this group together. There's a new face on this call that both of you and the group probably don't know as well. So before we even dive in, we'd love to introduce you.
I'm so happy to meet you guys. I'm privileged to be working on the mentorship side of Thinkering. But more than anything, I'm a teacher, 30 years in the classroom. It's my passion and my joy. And I also speak and write children's books, and I write for teachers. And I have a mentorship organization. Thanks, Hillary. I'll take a little shout out. Woohoo, celebrate. But yeah, mentorship is a passion of mine for 8 years. I've been running the Mentory. And so coming on at Thinkering and being able to build mentorship into how we do things has been a really exciting process. And that's what brings me to this lovely day.
Noah, thanks for sharing on that side. And both of you group will have plenty of time to interact with Noah moving forward. But Noah mentioned the really important thing, mentorship. Right? So what we've seen, thanks to our first cohort and all of you listening as well, which we'll touch base with you individually too, we learned a lot. Right? And not only learned a lot, but have been able to develop programs to continue supporting and nurturing educators moving forward. One of the big things that we realized is, hey, we can't just have graduation and then best of luck to you, right? Like, hopefully your projects come to life and we'll see on the flip side of it. Ultimately, what we looked at was how do we make this organization as sustainable as possible? And that includes twofold. One is on the experts and organizational side, right? The network. And everyone who graduated cohort 1 is also in the network now, right? Not just fellows, but graduated to that level. What we realized is we need a mentorship foundation, right? What types of experiences, what types of curriculum, what types of upskilling can our team as a whole, those organizations, partners, executives go through, really ground us in mentorship. So that's why Noah is here, aside from many other things. But Noah brings a whole wealth of experience in that sense, has been working with new Thinkering mentors and will continue working with Thinkering mentors, or that they are providing the best experiences possible to fellows that first come into the program. And on the back end, which we're really excited to tell you all about today, is the second part of the fellowship, which right now we're calling Lap. We might change the name a little bit. We're playing around with it, but it's our go-to right now, Lap 2, ultimately. Before we even get into that, let me fast forward everything, right? Like, we haven't seen a lot of you in the last, 4 months at this point. School has started. Education is crazier than ever, I think, on all sides of the planet. What do we want to do? So we just prepared a few different slides on this. I don't have to go into the mission for the group here. A few different high-level data points that we're seeing globally right now is teacher burnout is real. Teacher voice and retention is horrible at the moment. There's a massive global teacher shortage, and everything that's impacting are the kids. Right? Over 600 million students, just from the data side of it, fail to reach minimum proficiency levels. So something has to change. And we believe this little spark that we've all created together here can be that catalyst. We set a really big mission for ourselves at the end of this summer. We looked at all the fellow projects, we looked at our network, and we said, what could really change? Right? How do we change these numbers? How do we improve the state of education today? And we set a really big goal for ourselves, right? If we're not going to be ambitious, then what are we doing here? What we said is starting in 2026, so we're 6 weeks away from it at this point, which is nothing. We're going to publicly come out, and this group is some of the first to hear about this. But over the next 5 years, we want to bring 10,000 educators through our ecosystem and through the program. What that amounts to, ultimately, just based on data and reach, students per educator, if we could reach 20 million Thinkering color pinpoints on the map here. We want to showcase a living, breathing curriculum, right? And living, breathing experiences all around impact. What we will come out publicly with are all of these projects, which your projects will be included in this, of what's taking place locally, how does it align to humanizing learning, who is involved in it, and then through our technology that we'll touch on in a minute as well, how do we adopt and adapt it for my local education initiatives too? So Dr. Oluwakemi, you're on the call. We love your project. We can't say enough about it. We love all your projects. I'll phrase that. But you're just in the top right corner on my side, so I'll point you out right now. On that side, how does another community with minimal access to technology and connectivity also create that opportunity, right, for their young learners? Bring these projects to the forefront. On your side, right, how do we create this database, aggregate information in this new age format of content technology that showcases to kids there's more than just the 10 miles outside their hometown? Right? All these amazing projects we want to showcase and feature globally at this point. And we believe if we could do this over the next 5 years, you're looking at 10,000 pinpoints that can change the narrative of education. So we are going to be very bold with this mission. We're going to be very loud with this mission. And all of you are to thank for this. And all of you, whether you like it or not, are on this ride with us right now on that side. What we started to look at was our ecosystem, right? What does it mean to go through our Thinkering experience, right? So it started initially with our community, our experts, our organizations and institutions. Right now, we're 90 plus growing partners on an everyday basis. And we haven't even gotten started on that side, to be honest. Where we're going next and what we've done already, now we're in our second program with our fellow, approaching our third already, which is fun, is our Thinkering Fellowship, right? What we did is we diversified a little bit. We diversified our fellowship to suit the needs of our communities. So we still have here's our 10-week program. And this group, actually, cohort one, went through a longer program, but we realized there's better ways to do it. So always learning, always adapting. On our side, there will be our 10-week program, which is exactly what all of you experienced. Here's your community. Here's experts. Here's mentors. Here's weekly curriculum and initiatives. We will implement an asynchronous program for individuals that might not either be available to all those other things. Hey, Lori, too. It's that shout out right there. But on that side of it, we adapted our traditional 10-week program to our asynchronous one. It'll be a little bit lighter lift, but for those individuals that come in and guide. And then what we're also doing with school districts, and we're testing it right now, actually, is a 3-day fellowship program, ultimately. Where we bring it to your school. It's an 8-hour, hands-on, aggressive, let's get messy. And then we have a celebration of learning at the end of it that bring together stakeholders, families, students, educators, and community leaders. What's taking place next? And this is really where it starts to get exciting on our developments. So our capstone success. All of you that were invited to this call today had capstone success, right? You went through the program, you created this amazing idea that we ultimately want to make a reality. Right? Not just, hey, here's professional development and you guys were awesome and let's go on our merry way. But how do we change the narrative here? What we're doing with all of your projects, and you've kind of seen a little bit of this, but our mission now is to go raise capital for your projects and also surround you with continuous mentors, subject matter experts, and individuals that could help make it sustainable. Not a reality because you made it a reality already, right? It's out of your head, it's on paper, you're doing the work in all of your communities, but how do we actually make this sustainable? So our goal starting in the new year really is fundraising. On that end of it, reality, you need money to make some things happen, not necessarily a lot, but on a grand scheme of things, if we're talking about 10,000 teachers, we need a lot of fundraising to take place. And we're confident we can make this happen both on a local and global level. What do we need to do to empower you locally to source funds, sponsorship, et cetera? And then from our internal side, what do we need to do to go have those conversations with some big donors and big checks based on your initiatives and their passions? Whether that's girls in STEM in rural communities, whether that's agriculture and nutrition and health, mental health, early childhood, you name it. These are the conversations that we're having constantly now behind the scenes with state organizations, ministries, sponsors, and corporate donors to get you in front of them and make your projects a reality. What we then do is we want to study the impact. And this is where our nonprofit comes alive. All of the work that's taking place throughout the year and moving forward, we want to connect to research, right? We have a lot of different researchers in place, a lot of different institutions that we've partnered with already within Thinkering. But how do we analyze this and create a framework that's very easy to digest by other education communities worldwide? We don't need another acronym. Everyone has those already, right? We don't need this built out curriculum and, like standard X, Y, Z, B. Not getting into that, but how do we make it human, right? And what does that look like so it's adaptable and adopted by others that are dying for innovation and this spark of idea? And as always, we want to scream this from the mountaintops. And that's where our media comes in, right? Our podcast, our stream, our documentaries that we're starting to kick off the ground too. Just to give the group a little bit of look at what this ecosystem is really coming into right now. What does it mean for you? It means moving forward. And this is where Noah has been a huge help on our end as well, trying to think about what does mentorship look like phase 1, phase 2, and throughout. So all of you after this call will connect with you individually. We'll figure out where you're at on these projects, who would be beneficial, subject matter experts, organizations, individuals, but taking that next step. And on the back end, what we're doing is we're training and pairing those people ideally to make your project as successful as possible. The network you know about already. I'm not going to run you through our methodology. This was just to showcase a little bit for the group what our 10-week program looks like now, all around foundations, design and development, and in sharing and celebration. One of the other elements that you might not have seen yet is our Thinkering Labs portal. So Thinkering Labs, Garrett could dive deep into this. This group completely were the guinea pigs, and you guys were awesome in that sense. But last year we did things through Google Drive, like the old school way, and it worked, right? It was simple, it was easy. What we saw though is how do we personalize this, especially at scale? Right? We're looking at that big number, 10,000. How do we do it in a way that's not only easy for us to scale, but easy for you to access people and resources? We have this new portal, Thinkering Labs. I know we sent out an email previously. If you have not been able to log in yet, or this is the first you're hearing about it, let us know. We'll get you set up in no time. Fellows that are currently working in our program, everything is taking place in our Thinkering Labs portal. The resources are in there, the media, the questions. So we built out this fun little technology. What we've also done is we've implemented different data points and a lot of research in it. So we are constantly, in so many words, feeding the baby, where the baby's growing on a daily basis now. And what we've been able to do is feed it research, pedagogies, frameworks, methodologies from all of our different partners and organizations, all circling back to humanizing education. So there's things that are very common, like the SDGs, and maybe they're not common, obviously, in some circles too, but then some really deeper frameworks on subject-based initiatives. How this relates to this group is all of you have access to Thinker Labs moving forward. You have your nice, friendly buddy in there, Thinkerbot, which is Garrett's baby, completely on that side of it. But Thinkerbot ideally is for you, right? What you're able to do is communicate with Thinkerbot like another chat bot platform, but the difference is it's trained and it's personalized. So it's not scraping the internet on anything and everything. It's based on our methodology and our framework. And what it can suggest to you is not only additional resources that pair to your projects, outdoor education, early childhood, STEM education, but also people in the network that could give you more access, deepen your knowledge. So again, Dr. Olukimi, I'll come back to you because I see you're front and center on my side. Through Thinkering Labs now, you would have been able to find Lori based on both of you doing a STEM bus previously. And that's really where we want to take this is your personalized assistant, your co-pilot in a way that is always helping upskill your project, connecting it to methodologies to make it sustainable and impactful. Again, if you have not registered for Thinker Labs yet, let us know. Send us an email. We'll get you set up in no time. But every fellow that comes through the program now is running through Thinkering Labs. Our partners are there. Our mentors are there. That'll be kind of this heartbeat of the organization overall. On that side, I'll pause for a second because I know that's a lot of information. Garrett, Jim, Lori, anything to throw out just based on the previous fellowship and what the group, those on the call today and those listening in after, be thinking about or know?
The one thing I'll jump in and say is that, like Evan said, we're really excited to move this ball forward in getting these projects on the ground. We all have vested interest. And I think, just like you guys in the fellowship were helping us understand this fellowship, having that mindset of, as we go into this second lab, how do we figure out how to get the support you need quickly? We talked, even my own fellows have talked about budget and things like that. Well, let's understand together how we can maximize not only your localized area, but of course our network. And so I'm really excited to, take these projects to fruition. And like Evan said, really work with our university partners to connect on case studies and get outcomes so that we can scale these projects up.
I'm looking for that clap emoji, but I can't even say it. You guys are 10 steps ahead of me on the technology side.
I'm in a very loud space, so sorry if it's I'm in a library with a lot of happy children right now. I would say that the big thing for me is that it's on your timetable too. Like we say, it's 10 weeks or it's 6 weeks or whatever, but it's when it works for you and what works for you. This is not a heavy lift in that you have to do it in like a set amount of time. We're here for you whenever you need us.
Yeah, Lori, I appreciate you saying that. And guys, that's really what we'll do with these follow-up calls as introductions. We don't want to keep you too long today on it, but we'll set that follow-up time and say, what does it look like based on your schedule, based on the current calendar year? Where does this fit in? Right? You've done the hard work already. You did the lift. Now let us help support that next step of this to make it a reality. that'll be on a personalized basis completely, but do not feel any pressure there. The last thing we want is another thing on your plate that feels like a burden. One other thing I will throw out there too is the fellowship side. We're seeing a lot of interest from organizations now. And I frame that to the group just to give you a sense of like where we're going as a group as well internally here. So we're seeing school districts come in. Our largest right now actually is a school district all around outdoor education, where they came in and said, hey, we want our fellows to participate in 2 to 3 cohorts this year. So the first one was a little bit smaller. The second one, which starts in February, is going to be, I think, much, much bigger. And then they might have one in April as well. We're now working on the back channel too with different departments. We're working with the state of Alaska right now to try to bring in all of their educators, 542 schools across the state, in a mental health program, right? What does that look like over the next few years? Garrett and I this morning, we're working on a program all around early childhood in Nebraska and the States as well. There's some things overseas that we're speaking with, but these are the types of things where 10,000 might seem like a big number, might seem like a small number, depending on who you are. But these are the ways that we believe we're going to get there. We're still going to have our open enrollments. We love that. We want that. The teacher that feels like they're on an island locally, we want to bring them in. This is home ultimately. But also we're seeing a lot of interest take place with, we'll say, institutions at this point that are looking at Thinkering and saying, wow, there's something going on here. What can we do here? And also just to remind the group again, we're about 9 months into our journey as an organization. So we are a baby still, right? In that sense, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. We're going to have a lot of scars, but we're growing. We're growing fast on this side. So sounding that up at the foundational level, even what Noah's doing, right? With mentorship and understanding what's our process. These are all things that we really are prioritizing. For the ones that are listening, let us know what you think. This is just as much your organization as ours. So keep an eye out for an email. I will follow up with the group. We'll send you some links in there. We'll send the Thinkering Labs link just in case you're not in it already. And then from there, we'll schedule one-on-ones.
I just want to say one thing about mentorship. I don't want you to think about it as a program. I want you to think about it as how we do things around here. You never have to be alone, and that there are so many people that have done this, have bruised knees and skinned elbows over the process. So let's reach out to them, use their expertise, use the things that they know, and support each other going forward.
Appreciate that. I'll also include some links to Noah's work too in that email, because you guys definitely need to get a little bit more familiar with her work and just the overall vibe that she brings to this organization, which is fantastic. But you guys run, go have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
When it sits flush, the rest frames itself. Got it. And launch. Learning isn't something we just read about. We build it.
Thinkering Collective, forever shown.